Welcome to Inside the Courtroom. I'm Carla Schusler here with Greg McCollum from the Complete Legal Defense Team. Hi, Greg.
Hey, Carla.
How you doing? We've been talking about domestic violence last couple weeks, and last week we talked about what happens when the police are called to a home with a possible domestic violence situation and they come to the door. You mentioned they don't need a warrant to come in, which I think is important to know, especially if you're in the home, that they can come into the home without a warrant. But then you started talking about the fact that somebody is going to get arrested in that situation. Let's talk a little bit more about that. Is it interesting because it's not always the person that calls about the situation.
In terms of who called the police, it's probably irrelevant at that stage. And sometimes neither party called the police. Sometimes a neighbor called the police. Sometimes somebody may be, like, let's give a scenario. So a husband and wife are arguing. The wife is upset, she's crying, she goes in her bedroom, she calls her mother or her best friend, and they become alarmed. They call the police. Sometimes people don't even know the police have been called. So once the police get there, the domestic violence law in South Carolina authorizes them to enter the residence without a warrant, without a search warrant.
And so also when you were saying someone is going to get arrested, it could actually be the person that made the phone call if it's one of the two people involved in the incident.
Many, many times the person that called the police for help, once the police arrive there, depending on what the police see or believe happened, they're supposed to arrest the primary aggressor.
Good to know. If you've got a question for Complete Legal Defense Team, email us at greg@completelegalDefenseteam.com.